Are we live? Live? Oh, we're live. We're live. We're live. What's going on? It's game night. Game night. It feels weird doing the pregame show. It feels like we're getting ready to do our Wednesday night stream right now.
Yeah.
But it's like we're getting ready to watch a game. Getting pretty damn excited. I did take a nice little 45-minute nap before this though. So I'm gonna have to no yawns for me. I'm gonna have to go get coffee as soon as this is over. So we'll go for about 45 minutes, answer your questions, talk about the Giants, get hyped up. Justin, how are you?
Hey, Bobby Skinner. Happy game day. Happy game night. This is one of those games where I have a good feeling. I haven't had a good feeling probably since the Washington game, where that's like a game where I'm like, I just have a good feeling. There was another feeling that I hope no more yawns, and you yawned right there. There was a feeling that I had Sunday Night Football against the Colts in 2017, and we got absolutely blown out. Monday Night Football against the Colts. I have a good feeling tonight,
that was
though.
A long time ago. I forgot about that game.
We
got to be like 35-0 in that game. We got shut out.
So every time that I have a good feeling, we lose. So I should reverse that.
That was like 2015.
No, it was. I'm pretty sure it was 2017.
We played the Colts in 2018 in the end of the season. Remember, we almost won that game towards the end of the year.
Also, maybe it was 2014. Oh my god!
Yeah, it was 2014.
The games blend together. I've been to a lot, but I have a good feeling about this game, and that's typically not a good thing.
Yeah. But I am excited for this game. I am excited. It's prime time, and it's against a team that is beatable because of their struggles on defense and their offense. There's issues there, but also it's a team that like you're still extremely excited if they win. Like you have the same exact record of them, but it feels so much bigger than what the Chiefs' record would be. Both teams would be 3-5. Because they're the defending AFC champions. Back-to-back AFC champions. Almost went the year before. Super Bowl champs. Like this team is an extremely talented team. So you always feel good about that. Like I feel a lot better going into this game than I did going into the Dallas game with everyone healthy. Going into the Dallas game, you had Kadarius Toney's healthy in this game. You had Kenny Galladay. You had we thought we had Andrew Thomas going into that game where, coming off of the Saints win, it's like this game feels a lot more winnable than that Cowboys game because the Cowboys, it's like what they do offensively is they do what you are bad at. Like they can do everything well, where the Chiefs are kind of like a one-trick pony. Like they get impatient and they try and then go downfield, and their defense is bad.
Yeah, I was reading some Football Outsider stuff today where they were talking about the Chiefs. And they talked about the Chiefs last week, and then they did a little bit of a preview of this Chiefs Giants game too. And Orlando Brown, who was a guy who wanted to be traded from Baltimore, and not only did he want to be traded, but he wanted to be moved to left tackle. The big money's at the left tackle spot. Orlando Brown is not as bad as Nate Solder, but in terms of when he gets beat off the ball, he turns pass blocking into a chase game, where that's exactly what Nate Solder does, abandoning your footwork, abandoning your pass sets, and then you're just trying to chase a guy to the outside. And Orlando Brown these last couple of weeks hasn't looked great at left tackle. He's been primarily a right tackle, and like I said, he was at the Ravens. So I really want Azeez, especially now that Lorenzo Carter is going to be out. I want Azeez on the right side of the defensive line, but going up against Orlando Brown and trying to kind of beat him off the edge. If that's the weakness of the tackle, then do it. I want the right side of the defensive line, the left side of the defensive line, but the right side of the offensive line. I want those guys kind of playing gap integrity so you don't want Mahomes really extending plays often, going to his right. But I want Azeez versus Orlando Brown. You got to beat him, dude. Beat him off the edge. And if you get your hands on the quarterback, you better bring him down, or hope somebody else up the middle can penetrate. They also have the rookie out of Tennessee at right guard who has had his moments. Remind me his name.
Trey Smith,
who has had good moments. He's had some bad moments. They have Creed Humphrey at center, who I haven't heard a lot of bad things about, but he's a rookie too, Bobby. And then they have at left guard Joe Thuney, who was the big money guard from this offseason from the Patriots. So this is an offensive line where I feel like you can take advantage of it, especially on the inside. But Azeez versus Orlando Brown, that's a matchup that I'm circling right now.
And Mike Remmers is their starting right tackle, right?
Yeah, Mike Remmers' revenge game, yeah.
Mike Remmers, he's not very good. So yeah, my giant factor was Leonard Williams is like, yeah, Ojulari, go out on that side and win your battles. But Leonard Williams, like you got a young couple bucks in front of you.
Yeah.
And then Joe Thuney, who you should outperform. I'm not saying you're going to dominate Joe Thuney, but you should outperform him. And then, the young bucks, you should take advantage of Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. So, JWN, please stop asking if we can make a wild card spot. Okay. We've seen your question. Okay. We're having a conversation. My God. Yes, we can make it. All right, ask some questions.
Yeah, win this game, and then we win this game, and then we talk about it. Lose this game, and then we talk about who are we trading away at tonight on tonight's show. So that's basically the two directions that tonight can go.
Which, by the way, I forgot that we were talking about our schedule earlier. If the Giants trade anyone tomorrow, we'll record the mailbag tomorrow night and put it out on Wednesday. Because we'll talk about the trades.
So the trade deadline is Tuesday night or Wednesday night?
Tomorrow at 4, I believe, right?
Oh, okay, so it is Tuesday. Okay, it's Tuesday night. All right, cool.
Yeah, because I think it's on Tuesday. Because I remember last year, everyone's like, it's the biggest day of the year, trade deadline, because it's the election day.
Oh.
I just remember every single blue check mark making that.
Well, tomorrow's election day too, and it's election day tomorrow.
Not really, is it? I mean, there might be. Is there some special elections?
Well, the governor for New Jersey, and a lot of the
that's tomorrow.
The state elections, yeah.
I thought that was. Oh, are you for primaries, right?
No, no. Tomorrow's the actual election for New Jersey, governor and everything.
Well, we don't do that stuff till next year, midterms. I think you might be wrong.
I don't think I am.
We'll see. What are your thoughts on Rudolph after last week, Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby.
They haven't changed. He's a good blocker, and he doesn't add anything as a receiver. Let's see. Has the defense turned a corner? What was it that made them successful last week, and do you see it continuing? I'm not ready to say they've turned the corner, but they did go back into a lot more zone coverage, which they're going to do again this week versus Patrick Mahomes. They're not going to blitz a ton.
I don't know, Bobby.
Most teams have been playing zone versus the Chiefs, though.
But Patrick Mahomes has the most success against zone defense versus man. He has struggled a little bit more. So we'll see. I mean,
but there's been struggles this year, and the Chiefs they've faced more zone coverage than they ever have, and less blitzing than they ever have.
I mean, are you looking at the too high looks, or are you looking at
both too high and zone covers?
Where did you see that?
In the Athletic this morning.
You saw it in the Athletic. Okay, all right.
So I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to tell you. You're probably right about if you got the stats that facing man, but that's probably they're still facing more zone. So they're not gonna blitz a ton. They're going to try. I think they're going to try and follow the blueprint of what the league has done and what the Giants went into this year trying to do, which is doing some more of that too high coverage stuff. And it's like you're going to have to be patient. They're going to get some long drives, but you got to hope that they turn over the ball and they're not able to finish drives, and you're able to get sacks and get them off schedule, because that's the way to beat the Chiefs. You're not going to shut down the Chiefs. You have to get the Chiefs off schedule. You have to get that one play, whether it's a sack, whether it's
holding,
losses or turnovers.
Drop
you can't
ball.
You can't bank on turnovers all game, but getting them off schedule, because the idea of just stopping their offense is not going to happen. So turn a corner? No, I need to see more than one good game from the defense to turn a corner.
Yep, I agree.
Any word if Allerson Smith is playing tonight? No, he will not be playing. Although Aaron Robinson's been activated from PUP, but I'm not expecting anything out of him until after the bye week. James Skinner says, "Oh, word up, bro.
Word.
I just bought this guy a birthday present. How about that?
Wow, really good guy you are."
Yep, Nets at Magic tickets. I spent $100 on his birthday, so just remember when it's my birthday. Maybe buy me a car or something. All right.
You just got a car.
I want another car.
Oh, okay.
I want a truck. I want to have a truck, a work truck, and a car.
Oh my God. A personal truck, a work truck, and a car.
Yeah, they call me. They don't call me Mr. Big for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the only person who has multiple vehicles that they're really not that nice though. You know, you see a guy who has a bunch of cars, it's like, oh, they're super nice. I'm going to be the only guy in the world that like collects cars that are just like, 2004, need a paint job.
Yeah.
Something's going wrong with them.
Here for it. Let's talk about the offense.
Does Danny dime tonight?
Hope so. He should. He really should. There's no reason for him not to, except that reason is Jason Garrett and just coming out conservative, and this is part of my big talking point.
The offensive line could wreck the game too.
The offensive line could wreck the game, but there's no reason why the offense should not have success. Like the last couple of weeks, you've looked at the offense hasn't done much. The offense hasn't produced a lot of explosive plays, and it's like, they're playing a middle of the pack defense without all their weapons. Sure, I can understand it. They're playing the Panthers, where the game plan was to get the ball out of Jones's hands fast. Yes, I can understand why you didn't have a lot of explosive plays, right? But this week, it's just one of those things where, Chris Jones is the biggest threat on that Chiefs front seven, right? Chris Jones is the biggest threat, and he has 8 tackles this year. 8. And he's played in like 6 games. Leonard Williams, meanwhile, has 80. I'm sorry. He's on pace for 80. He has 40. There's no excuse for this offense to not do well tonight. But part of my problem is with this organization is that I just feel like as an organization, their philosophy is not prioritizing scoring points and scoring points at a high rate. It's simply just controlling the clock, time of possession, et cetera, et cetera. And that can't be the approach tonight.
Yeah, like you said, could Garrett wreck it? Yeah, I hope they do some of that sprint out stuff.
Balance. Yeah,
but like they have to take shots. But the offensive line just has to be not horrible. So like, should we expect? Like expectations of a team? Like, hey, Garrett, everyone should do their job, at least like do what they're expected. You should expect 23 to 27 points. The issue is that it's like, I don't know if that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Versus this bad defense.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's enough to win. And I hope their offensive mindset is. And I've been on teams like this where it's like, where the defense was better. It's like, hey, we got to go score 42. We got to score. I just feel like they've never walked into a game thinking like, all right, we got to score 42 to win. Even if that's true, even if that's not true, like you should walk into every game thinking like we got to score 42 to win. And I just don't think they have that confidence or that belief.
We got to hold the ball. There's a difference between we got to hold the ball for 35 to 40 minutes to help our defense versus we have to score points to help our defense. And I think that's the disconnect between what the Giants prioritize. And they've never come out and said it, but it's a matter of looking at schematics, looking at their approach to games, and then looking at how they operate, where it's like, I think they prioritize helping their defense by keeping them off the field versus helping their defense by scoring points. Like that's the disconnect. So
do the rollouts and sprint outs. It works. Yeah, do some of it, but you can't live by that your entire game. And you put a ton of it on film too, so there's going to be some stuff ready for where you didn't really have a ton of that on film before that. So you do some of it, but you can't play game after game after game like that. It's not sustainable.
And getting Shep and Toney back is huge, where you don't have to do all of that to prioritize the intermediate part of the field, but those guys, especially Shep, Shep is that intermediate option where if you just want to get a gain between 7 to 12 yards, you can do that. And that's why Sterling Shepard is important. So I don't think you need to solely rely on those kind of play action rollouts, whatever, when you have those guys back, because those guys largely, they do most of their damage in that 0 to 9 yard range. So
I put out a tweet saying, like, I don't know if I'm going to watch Manningcast or not. And then I have a bunch of people in my mentions saying, like, Eli, Manningcast, duh. I want to see how people are, how dead set people are on Eli and Peyton when they have, Jon Stewart on, who they're ignoring like a big Kadarius Toney play. We're like, oh, wow, that's big. And, but John, you actually played football in high school? And he's like, yeah, I did, but I didn't play much.
This is the Daily Show, Jon Stewart, right?
Yes. They didn't bring on Jonathan Stewart.
Jon Stewart's a common name. if this was, I really wish this was not a Giants game that's on Monday Night Football, because these guests, particularly Jon Stewart, Michael Strahan, who's the other one? Josh Allen, who
Josh
I'm
Allen,
excited.
and then Michael Irvin.
Those are 4 really, really good guests. And I'm really mad that it's a Giants game, and I'm not going to be fully locked into what they're saying. It's a shame.
Yeah, I have to be locked into a Giants game. If I didn't care about this team as much, maybe I would listen to it. But I'm locked into a Giants game.
And also, not even ever since I started podcasting, but I never cared that much about the announcers and what they say. So, you want to hear Louis Riddick tell you how smart he is? Like, no. How about you can listen to the announcers, but you don't need to have that impact your viewing experience of the game. Just watch the game like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. The usual one doesn't affect me, but the Manningcast is right in your face. You know, it's taking up the screen, and they're not looking at this stuff. And you mentioned a guy like Jon Stewart, and now we got.
I love Jon Stewart. I really do.
Are you sure this guy says he's a commuter lefty, Hollywood liberal who hates America?
Yeah, you want to know what he's funny. His commentary's good. And
he's a comedian.
He kind of changed television with the show for a long time. So
I didn't really watch it that much. There was one time I did watch it though, and they were like, they were doing a chant, and it sounded really bad. He was like, you don't have to go with the first chant you think of, and I don't know why. It actually, me and my buddy Zach were watching it, and it was like we just lost it laughing.
Yeah.
It was about like the pipeline. They're like, no more pipeline. He's like, you didn't have to go with the first chant you thought of. Let's see.
What we got? Football, Giants, Kansas City, barbecue.
We texted very will there be an audible let's go Brandon chant? They don't do that in the NFL. I think that's I didn't know what that was until a few days ago, by the way.
NASCAR race was really good this past weekend. Did you see it?
No, I don't watch the playoffs. I don't believe in the playoffs. I don't watch it.
Oh, that's right. You hate the point system.
Yeah. What do you think about the Renan article about GM? We texted very lightly about it. I don't think anything of it.
I read it. Maybe Renan heard some things, and it's nothing against him. It's just it's a practice in today's game of if you have a source of somebody who's the lunch guy, right? You can write an article about it. So it's just name. It was just a collection of names, and he thought that the Giants highly regard Louis Riddick, and that's really what it was. I don't really make anything of it.
Yeah, I didn't make any. Well, I saw WBG clipping the article and tweeting it this morning. And he always kind of makes it seem more real than what the article reads. And the article's like, it's just there's one line about names that they could hire for the GM, and it's not necessarily I don't know, it's not huge. Let's see, man. Why did we have to bring up Jon Stewart? Now our chat has turned into politics.
Yeah, let it.
Vote for Bobby Skinner and Justin Pennick. Vote for Kadarius Toney for president. By the way,
Kadarius brains are broken. So.
Yeah. Anytime you bring up politics, people are just like, that's why you ought to vote for Kadarius Toney. Did you guys see that Kadarius Toney liked the post on our page saying to Kadarius Toney for president? So I think he's going to run for president. And then he put an Instagram story being like, I read the comments and people are talking to me like they're my friends. I don't think he likes Giants fans. I think, I've heard some things about Kadarius Toney. How about that? Breaking the news is that he is very he doesn't let people in his circle, and he's kind of big on if you ever doubted me, you're not on my side. You'll never, it's like you're either with me or against me. And I think there's a lot of he got a lot of hate, until he had a couple big plays, he got a lot of hate from this fan base, a lot of hate. And I think there's still, and I actually kind of like this. I'm fine with that. I'd rather that than pandering. I think there's a lot of you're just fans, which I don't mind. Ball out, play hard, play for your team, buy into your teammates, buy into your coaches, and I'm good with you. I'd rather that than you be pandering.
Yeah, and I hope he uses that to work harder, right? I mean, that's what Brady's done for years. Brady is a guy that we laugh at him because he's like, oh, he talks about being an underdog and he talks about people doubting him. I'm like, dude, you're Tom Brady. You're immortal. You look better now than you did 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And you have Super Bowl rings for, more than just your one hand. So I hope that he's a guy that kind of looks at that and, hey, I'm going to do this in spite of you. I'm going to do this and remember you specifically who doubted me. And you know what? Good for him. But
yeah, and I don't think like Tony will never be someone that we are friendly with because I think he's just like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Podcast.
I think he may know. When we make these young Joker memes and he likes them and he's in our comments and he's defended himself. I think he may recognize it. If a few more times this happens, I've made some other I made 2 young Joker memes today.
But I can see like Kadarius Toney like not even liking LPG or anybody.
Yeah, sure.
But which doesn't bother me. I like him, and that's all that matters. Victor Press. Who is that weird clean cut guy with Justin? It's Brandon.
I need a haircut.
I'll tell you what. I'm glad I got the haircut, but I'm not going to the same person who did it this last time. It's some stragglers. They did not spend time on it. I need to go to the hood barber who spends an hour.
There you go.
Salute Pazanis. New York Giants should beat Kansas City losers easily if they keep the pants up, eyes on the field, and much focus on their assignments. Thank you, Tuto.
Jason Sehorn had a interception return against the Lions where his pants fell down. So that's actually a good it's a good tip, Tuto. They got to keep the pants up.
Keep those pants up. My dad just said Booker is going to get over 100 yards. Is he high?
Yes.
I don't know, man. You know your dad better than us. He might just be high.
I think he is. Pretty sure.
Okay, here's actually a good point. Giants should take advantage of poor run defense, heavy packages, and play action. Would love to see Daniel Jones move around the pocket like last week. Here's where I'm at with the Giants run game. And this, there's been conversations brought up because you got the trade deadline, Derrick Henry injury, so it's like running backs are back. Adrian Peterson signed, which Adrian Peterson's a freak, by the way, and I still think he has his use left, and I'd rather have him than Devontae Booker. But nonetheless, the running, there's like some running back conversations, and it's like there is value to the running game. Like people who just like throw away the running game. The issue is the Giants don't run the ball well. It's like you look at Gettleman quotes and stuff back then. And hold on, let me ban this.
No, we don't want that.
You look at like Gettleman quotes, and it's like, one, I don't like the way you build that mindset for team building, but on top of that, you don't even do that well. You know what I'm saying? Like you can talk about like the Titans, the way they run their offense. Is that sustainable? Is that successful? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you know what? They do it well. The Giants, they have no running game. Their running game is really bad. Part of that is due to injuries, but it's not, you got to have some depth too. So they are a bad running team, and I'm not expecting them to get the running game going at all this year. I just don't. I don't think they got the linemen. Saquon's banged up again, so there will be games, but it's like I would expect maybe 2 or 3 games this year where the running backs gain over 100 yards.
Have they even had a single game this year where they've done that?
No.
I don't even think they've gotten close.
No, I don't think they have either.
No.
Daniel Jones is still the team's leading rusher. So yeah, use Daniel Jones' legs, and teams are starting to play the read option more. So the Giants are starting to do it in line, which is dangerous.
That speed option, that was fun last week. Got an 11-yard gain out of Devontae.
Yeah,
Booker.
that was with Toney back. You can do some more read option stuff because you got to use Toney in that orbit motion.
They put him in the backfield a little bit. That's fun.
So
some Nebraska 1990s.
But they had a successful run game towards the end of the last year. They were able to run the ball average.
Well. I think they were ranked in the top half of the National Football League in DVOA, which measures efficiency.
The first 6 games were brutal.
And they were historically bad, where Saquon Barkley was getting tackled like 30 to 40% of his rushing attempts through the first 3 weeks of the season. He was getting tackled at or behind the line of scrimmage. And then they somehow finished, when the season ended last year, in the top half of the National Football League in rushing DVOA. So they kind of got it together last year. When what you want out of a run game, really, it's just to not have just a net gain or a negative play. Bobby talked about it before about staying on schedule and staying on script with the Chiefs offense. Really, for the Giants, just when you run the ball, staying on schedule, and they want to do it a lot on first down. And really nothing that the Giants are doing on first down, even though they are throwing the ball more often than not. It's just still, it's not working, and that's a key for today's game. Really, it's key to every game. It's how you're able to move the ball on first down and avoiding third downs. And, the team that faces third downs the least are teams that usually win. And the Giants don't do that because they can't run the ball well and they can't set themselves up in second and shorts, third and shorts, etc.
Aaron Harrigan. I'm not sure why the outlook of this game is bleak. I think this is one of the more favorable opponents. I feel like 30 plus is highly doable. Well, we're 2-5, and I feel like we're kind of upbeat. We're just understanding that we're a bad team overall.
Yeah, go back to the beginning of the stream.
But it's like 30 points. 30 plus is very doable, but the Giants have not. They've literally never done it under Jason Garrett. 23 games and they haven't done it. So it's like, I don't know. I refuse to expect it until it happens like at least 2 times.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs, for all their struggles, have lost to some really good teams.
Spread's now +11 on DraftKings, which is growing.
Love it. Underdogs. But if we win tonight, you can't say that it's a favorable, it's a team we should be able to compete with. But if we win, it's gonna feel huge. You know what I mean? So
yeah, who have the Chiefs? I'm doing this again. Who have the Chiefs lost to this year?
The Titans, the Bills, the Chargers.
They lose to the Browns. They beat the Browns. I'm pulling it up right now.
No, they beat the Browns. Freaking did this the other day. It pisses me off.
I got it. Hold on. I got it. They beat Washington. They lost against the Chiefs. Lost against the Bills. Beat the Eagles. Chargers, they lost. Ravens. They lost to the Ravens.
Ravens. Yeah, with Monday Night Football. Yeah.
Sunday Night Football. So, the Chiefs, they have their issues, but if the Giants beat the Chiefs, then they are joining the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bills, and the Titans, who are all right now, they all look like the favorites in the AFC, even though the AFC is quite the interesting turnstile of teams that are good and teams that are hot and teams that are not. So the NFC's winning the Super Bowl this year. I think that's pretty obvious, no matter who makes it.
Bryden Lawson. I know Bryden Lawson. I think he joined our Patreon. He's a Vikings fan. He just likes what we do, which is like,
oh, thank you.
I love it, but it's wild to me. Did you catch the Vikings Dallas game? I will not watch a game until Mike Zimmer is fired. Room on the Giants, bro. Yeah, the Vikings are just they're the most inconsistent team in the last 5 years since Kirk Cousins has been signed. They are the most inconsistent team, and that's not even like this year. It's like 1 year they're really good, where they go to the second round, and then they miss the playoffs. It's like they're just too inconsistent.
The Vikings are the most frustrating team in the National Football League. I mean, you saw how they started off the broadcast, and it's like Kirk Cousins' last 16 games. He is like, 40-some touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and I'm not big on like the touchdown interception ratio, but it's like Kirk Cousins is good, and whenever he gets in front of national television, that's of course when he chokes, and everybody says, well, Kirk Cousins stinks, and I don't think Kirk Cousins stinks. It's just that when he is bad, he's just dirt bad, and that offense just couldn't do anything like that. They're the most frustrating team in the National Football League. Like, it's without a doubt.
Does an offense have to be aggressive to be successful? The top scoring teams all by aggressive minded. I don't think
define aggressive.
I think they need, for the most part, and there's not one set, but like the Cowboys aren't super aggressive right now.
No.
They are very much like, we'll take what you give to us. I think you have to be so no, I don't think you have to be aggressive. No. I think you have to be smart, and you have to be aggressive when it's there.
Yep.
Here's what I'll say: you can't be conservative.
No, I would agree with
unless
that.
Unless you're the Titans, or because the Ravens run the ball a ton, but they're not conservative.
No, even the Ravens and the Titans, like they throw the ball down the field, and you can make an argument. Chicken or the egg? Does the running game allow the 8+ man boxes, and then you throw the ball down the field, or are teams more worried about you throwing the ball down the field, and that opens up the run game? So there was a lot of stuff done, and I did some reading today about how much 8+ man boxes that Tannehill would face. So he did favor benefit off of all that. But no. So like you said, the Cowboys don't need to be aggressive because they have such great skill position players that can run really good routes and stuff like that. But yeah.
Or the Chiefs' issue right now is they are too aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I I think you just got to be really smart. Like I was kind of like when it was like, just hire Sean McVay guys and hire someone young. It's like, well, do you want to hire someone young just because they're young? But I really do think that's the way going forward. It's like you kind of have to be like young and upcoming.
Yeah.
Now.
And really, it's about knowing
unless
your
you're
team.
like, Andy Reid, Bill Belichick.
It's about knowing your team and knowing your personnel. Like why sign Kenny Galladay and not give him contested catch opportunities when he's on the field and when he's healthy? You know what I mean? And that's also a coaching thing where, you know what, if Daniel Jones is uncomfortable with doing that because he always wants to make the good throw, that's something.
But he's not, because he did it a ton in 2019. Like he threw a lot of like blanketed wide receivers, like contested catches.
That's a coaching thing.
Slayton.
That's a coaching thing though, where they have to coach him up. So it's not. It's very. I wouldn't even say it's about, is a coordinator aggressive? Are they not aggressive? Does the players and the personnel on the field, I said players twice, does the players and the personnel on the field, does that dictate you to be aggressive? When you have a guy like Kenny Galladay, when you have a guy like Kyle Rudolph, it should allow you to be aggressive, especially like in the red zone, but they're just not.
Do you guys like Giants primetime games? Asked by Wes Locke. I do, but the issue is they have lost them all. The last time they won a primetime game was against the 49ers on Monday Night Football versus Nick Mullins.
2018, yeah.
So they've like Daniel Jones is I'm sure they'll bring up a stat. Daniel Jones is like 0-6 on primetime. Like he lost versus the Patriots his rookie year, Monday Night Football to the Cowboys his rookie year. Last year versus the Bucks, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football versus the Eagles and the Steelers, and then the Washington week 2. So he's 0-6 on primetime. So I'm sure they'll bring that up. Which sucks because some of his better performances were on primetime, like the Washington week 2 game, the Eagles game last year.
Yeah.
Now some of his worst, like the Patriots game was probably his worst rookie performance.
Yeah.
Even though like everything was stacked against them with injuries and the Patriots defense being that good, but that's still like if you just look at it with forget the outside circumstances, that was probably his worst game of his rookie season. And then his worst game of his second season was the Tampa Bay game. So
yeah, I hate Thursday night games. I don't really like Monday night games. I just love Sunday night games. I grew up with Giants playing on Sunday Night Football every single year. Every single year, the Giants will be playing Sunday Night Football multiple times a year. I grew up with that, and I miss it. Especially my favorite game to go to is a Sunday Night Football game at home. That is just it's thrilling. The stadium is blue. Everybody is just more revved up for a Sunday Night Football game at home. Hopefully, probably won't get it next year, depending on how we finish. But yeah.
Charlie, is it weird that I like Rudolph a bit after the mic'd up? At least he seems like a good team player. At least, no, don't fall for that. He knows he's mic'd up, so he's so Kyle Rudolph plays people. By the way, yeah. That's something we heard. That's something we heard before we even disliked him. Like right after we signed him, someone else who was brought in by the Vikings told a certain media member, like, "Yeah, Kyle Rudolph, he plays the media."
Oh yeah.
Is a Fedio identical. Expectations for Aaron Robinson tonight. Most snaps on special teams. I don't think he's going to play at all tonight.
He's barely even practiced. So
yeah, I would expect maybe a little bit after the bye week.
Yeah, he didn't have any training camp. So the practices that happen during the week are a lot different than what happens in training camp. So you're not getting like those reps and those live reps. Like he didn't have any preseason, didn't have any training camp. I'm basically expecting an Aaron Robinson type season that Xavier McKinney had last year, except maybe tack on 2 or 3 more games, where next year is going to basically be his pseudo rookie year. And he's going to get in-game reps this year to just get something,
I think they'll throw him a little. I think he's going to play this year.
Well, like I said, it's going to be like Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I guess that's fair. But I think we might see him a little earlier because he's come back a lot earlier than McKinney.
That's what I said. I think an additional 2-3 games. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying McKinney the additional 2-3 more games.
No. Like Aaron Robinson is going to operate the same way McKinney's rookie season went, except add 2-3 games.
Right. Okay. Perfect. All right. We need Toney mic up. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Jonathan Pantoja. I'm excited for the chess match between Patrick Graham and Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. Yeah, I mean, we're not as high on. I still like Patrick Graham, but we're not as like singing his praises as much. But Patrick Graham is like he feels like, all right, like this something you talk about, and I bet you he's saying this is like, you get an opportunity this week, you got to make it. Like if you get a ball in your hands, you have to intercept it this week. It has to happen. Like it has to happen. We need to be taking chances on these dig routes, and I think Bradbury's been really good at showing that cover 4, and then they get a dig or something and getting undercutting. Like he should have like 6 interceptions this year. Like
he should.
Bradbury's taking chances this year in zone coverage. In man coverage, you really can't take a ton of chances unless you're playing a curl route or something. But like he's taking chances in the zone coverage, and he's been really good at that. But he's had a couple of drops too. I mean, he's had 3 interceptions through 7 games, which is really good.
And I think there's definitely 2 in which he drops. So what you said, he has 3 so far this year?
Well, I 2 or 3, yeah.
Okay, so he should have 4 to 5, maybe 6, like you said. I think Patrick Graham is one of those coaches. So I don't think Jason Garrett is one of those coaches unless he's playing Dallas. But I seriously do think Patrick Graham is one of those coaches that's like, you know what? This is a big game. This is a big game. This is against a really good offense. And I want us, not just saying that I want me as a coach to stand out. I want us to stand out. And I think that is a message that is going to the team this week. So yeah, we are on national television. Buckle up. And I have put more or less the blame on the players for dropping those interceptions, not coming down with sacks towards the beginning part of the season, because right now that's what's on everybody's brain. James Bradbury having a dropped interception, kind of like, I think that was America's game of the week against Dallas. So that was like a nationally televised game, dropping, can't have that. That's a bad look on national television, bad look for you. And, that'll be a bad look on just the entire defense as a whole.
We'll go another 5 minutes or so. So I'll get some of your last questions in. Let's check. I'm sure we missed like inactives and stuff. Let's check.
I have a stat while you check Twitter. I'm about to tweet it out. Haven't tweeted it out yet. So Giants, they've outscored their opponents 13-6 in the first quarter this year, which is kind of embarrassing that they've only scored 13 points in the first quarter. But that's really, really good on the defense side of the ball that they've only allowed 6 points. And I think it was this past week against Carolina that they allowed a field goal in the first quarter, and then a field goal against Dallas, I want to say. The Chiefs have been outscored in the first quarter 34-49. So they score a lot of points, but they also allow 2 more touchdowns and then they've scored. So fast, aggressive start on both sides of the ball, which is, it's what we've been saying, but there's a little bit of stats to back it up. So if you check Twitter, what do you have?
How about my timing? As soon as I check it, 18 seconds ago, Giants inactive list: Saquon Barkley, Lorenzo Carter, Kenny Golladay, Nate Ebner, J.R. Reed, and Danny Shelton.
Nate Ebner? Why?
He's injured. He was listed out the other day.
Oh, great.
So Sam Beal is active! Yeah. Sam Beal, I think, posted his mugshot on Instagram, too, by the way.
Yeah, somebody... Oh, that was Sam Beal? Because somebody posted it and said, what Giants legend is this? And I was like... What Giants legend is that?
Which, I mean,
thought it was Preston Parker for a second.
I think Sam Beal. I think he posted it himself. If he didn't post it himself, it's kind of messed up. Oh, he didn't post it. Oh, because someone DM'd me it this morning, and I was like, I'm not doing anything with this, dude.
Yeah.
And so someone else posted it, which I think is kind of messed up.
Yeah, I'm not for that.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe we should make stickers. Let's see. But Tony and Shep are active. So
yes, good. Love it.
That is the big news.
Big news.
Do you think Bernard McKinney is going to start over Reggie Ragland this week?
No.
You don't?
No, I think they should alternate. I thought Ragland's been fine.
Deandre Baker's inactive too.
Damn. His revenge game. Is this the first time we're playing Steve Spags since he was... Yes, it is. First time he played Steve Spags since he's been our interim head coach, where he was the head coach for the Giants before Dave Gettleman was hired 4 years ago. 3 years ago. Almost 4.
I'm doing a tweet.
Doing a tweet? DeAndre Baker tweet?
Yes. Yeah. I can't pass up a chance at a DeAndre Baker tweet.
Can't. I wonder if he likes us.
I think he's clueless to us.
I'd like to think he does. David and I.
We were still fairly small during the Baker stuff, and he doesn't go on social media really.
No. David and I defended him like crazy his rookie year. Defended him like crazy because
I remember David's talking point was like the defense is actually good. It's the offense because he wanted Pat Shermer fired.
All right, listen.
I remember I used to go after David. Me and David would go back at it every single week.
Somebody used the 3-and-out stat to their advantage.
It's like, wow, they're good at. They get a lot of 3-and-outs, and they're literally bad at everything else.
Yeah. I think you guys sometimes argue the same thing. But
I love David. I love.
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to Bleeding Blue.
Yeah.
I just disagreed with that. The defense was not. It was like the third worst defense in the NFL.
No, we defended Baker like crazy because we were talking about how they used him wrong and had a really good second. No,
they did use him wrong.
Really good. Had a somewhat good second half. Made some good plays here and there, and I thought he would develop into a good corner. But hey, maybe maybe Spags is using him wrong too. I don't know. He likes to do that cover 2 stuff.
Yeah, although I did have a bad talking point. This is why I like doing the interview earlier than we do the podcast, is that the Chiefs actually do run a decent amount of man. But I watched them play versus the Eagles because I was like, okay, Eagles bad team, Giants bad team. And we watch how the Chiefs play a ton of zone in that game. So I was like, all right, they play a bunch. They don't play a ton of man. But then the guys like, yeah, they've been playing a little more man the past few weeks. Get like to kind of compensate for some of their issues. So
no, I think they do cover. They like to do cover 2 because that's how like Janoris Jenkins made his money with making pass deflections on Des Bryant and stripping him and forcing incompletions that way. That's like where he was most comfortable. And then Betcher asked him to do different things, and then he got worse. So that's how that worked.
Got my Joker Wild chart in the mail today. Got it on for the game. Let's go. Wow, those came out. Our shipping is doing better. Yeah. I saw someone complain that like it took 3 weeks, but it was like, all right, man, I don't control that. I'm not gonna. I decided I'm not gonna sweat stuff like that anymore. Where I used to like, you know what, it's not my issue.
Nope, can't do it. Can't control it.
Mike Remmers is inactive. Wow.
No,
he must be injured.
Why? Well, that's good.
Yeah,
good. We could take advantage of it, hopefully. Or we could not. But what are you doing?
I'm gonna paper cut my mouth.
So many revenge games, and they're not coming to fruition.
Last week was the real revenge game.
That's right, James Bradbury. Who else?
Dave Gettleman,
revenge game. Oh yeah.
Really, Graham Gano was the only one who like actually felt it.
Yeah.
Like he asked Joe Judge if he could be the first presser last week. If they won.
Oh, he's like mad at them because of
he hates them. He throws them under the bus. He's like, they mismanaged my injury.
Yeah, his injuries and stuff. Yeah, good. Good for him.
He hates the Panthers.
Wonder how he feels about Ron Rivera. Everybody loves Ron Rivera.
Well, anytime Bradbury was asked about it, he's like, yeah, well, they fired Ron, so it's like I don't really know any of those people, so it's like I got a few of those players, but it's like it's all different from when I was there.
Yikes.
Daniel Jones should have won his last 3 primetime games. That would be Washington, Tampa. He shouldn't have won that game.
Yeah, I mean, 2
Giants should have. Giants should have won that game. Daniel Jones shouldn't have won that game.
Good way to phrase it.
And then the Eagles, he definitely should have won that game.
Yes.
Both of our Thursday night football games have ended like the exact same way the last couple of years. In heartbreak. But we're going to win tonight. So
Amen.
If you want to celebrate with us after the game, patreon.com/talkinggiants. We'll be there. It's $2 a month. You get a free sticker. Got stickers in the mail. They'll be here later this week. So I've got some empty envelopes for people that when the stickers get here, they'll be sent out. So you get a free sticker, get to join our live streams afterwards, after games, all that good stuff. And you get entered into a twice a week shirt raffle. And by the way, we have like over 300 patrons, only like 70 people twice a month.
Yeah, I was a bit like twice a week. We upped it, huh?
It's only like 70 people enter the raffle, every time, so it's like you look at like, oh, there's 300 patrons, like, well, you got a decent chance at winning it, and that incentivizes being a little more active in it. So we appreciate you guys. Anything you got, Justin, before we go? I'm gonna go get a cup of Dunkin' coffee.
I'm gonna shower. get the whatever negative energy out of here. But I'm going to end it off with some positive energy. Get excited for this game. Get excited for this game. You got Eli Peyton calling it on one end if you want to get a little distracted during it. Get excited for this game. This is a game that you should get excited for. During the third quarter, we could have some different talking points, and then it's like, oh, well, who are we trading tomorrow? If we're trading anybody, or we could be talking about, hey, we're right in this wild card thing, and we have another game against the Raiders next week at home that we could win. So get excited for this game. Go Giants. Be aggressive. Score points. Kill the Chiefs.
Straight up, John. Do that. How do I like my coffee black? Let's be the cockiest 3-5 team in the world tonight.
We were the best. What were we? Were we 2-5 last year?
No, we were 1-7.
We were 1-7, and people were calling us the best 1-7 team ever. Let's be the best 3-5 team ever.
I'm so about it. I'm so ready to be cocky after this game. So, we appreciate you guys. Let's go Big Blue.